What's going on, my little bundle of chestnuts? It's me, Kate Winchester here, and today I'm going to show you what I've been learning in history class as like maybe a new series, because I really do like history. Like, I just find it interesting to me for some reason. So if I were to be a teacher, I would be a history teacher, because it just interests me and it amazes me. And today I'm learning about the Boston Tea Party, like the Revolutionary War and things like that, and the things that have happened while, like, before the Boston Tea Party has happened. So yeah. But today we will just be learning about, like, the Boston Tea Party and things like that. And I got my water. Don't have tea. So yeah, I have water. I was like, I should get some tea. And then I was like, we don't have any tea, so. Anyway, let me know if you want me to keep making this a series. But first, we should learn about John Adams. And now I only wrote down like a sentence about John Adams, but basically, John Adams served in the Continental Congress, and he was an ambassador to France. And then we have John Adams's second cousin. We're going to be learning about this Mr. Samuel guy, Samuel Adams. Okay, so Samuel Adams, well, first the king wanted the British and the Americans to pay taxes for tea. So people were pissed at that. We had the Patriots and the Loyalists. Basically, the Patriots, they were traitors. So now, basically, old people will sometimes use Tory as an insult. Because Tory, basically, if they call you Tory, then that basically means that you're untrustworthy, like you can't be trusted. So if somebody calls you a Tory, then that's not nice. It's not just a cute little girl's name, it's an actual insult. It's kind of funny, actually. But then the Loyalists they were the good guys. They were... So yeah. They call the Patriots the Redcoats. Basically, the Redcoats were responsible for the Boston Massacre. Now, the Boston Massacre wasn't this huge massacre at all. It was really just a killing for, like, 5 people. Now, it's still sad, but it's, like, not a massacre. It's not even a mass murder. It's just a mess. Like, but it's not a massacre. Massacre. I like that word. Massacre, massacre, massacre. Is there something wrong with me? But no, they just decided to aim fire at the crowd. And somebody had said something that had pissed one of them off, so he aimed fire at the crowd and killed 5 people, and then ran off and told the courts that it was a massacre, so that it sounded more serious than it was. So yeah. Also, did you know that soldiers would... Okay, so say I decide I'm a soldier. So I decide to just say, hey, I'm gonna stay here with you guys. Cool? Cool. You would have no choice but to take me in. If you don't take me in, I could tell the police, hey, they're not letting me in. So I could sleep in your bed anytime I wanted to, and I could make you sleep out in the barn, and I could eat all of your food. I don't care how much you have, I will eat all of it. And you can't come out of the barn until I tell you to. That was how things were, and it was okay. Well, the British did not like that. So they had decided that they were gonna protest. So they told us, the Americans, and we thought that the British were trying to trick us. And they were just like, hey, we don't like how this is going. We don't like how this is going on, so we want you to join us. We want you to join forces with us. And we were like, nope, screw you. I don't know what you're getting us into, but no, we're good. Thanks, but we're good. So we didn't join. But they were just kind of like, okay, fine, we're still gonna do this. So basically, Samuel Adams came up and he said, do you like how things are going? And they said, no, we don't like it. So then he says, okay, well then we are going to fight. We are going to protest. So what they did was they had these patriots dress up as Indians. They were like loosely disguised as Indians. Like they had like the big coats on, like, yeah. So they just kind of slipped away on a boat and they took these 300 boxes with tea in it and they just poured it into the harbor. They weren't having an actual tea party. Like they weren't actually sitting down and going, would you like some sugar, sir? Yes, thank you, I would like some sugar. I was trying to do a British accent and then I was like, no, I wouldn't be good. That wouldn't be good. So, so they were just going, your tea is ready, sir. Why, thank you, sir. They weren't doing that. They were just like, yeah, fuck everybody. That's what they were doing. That's what they were doing. They were doing a huge fuck you to the king. They were doing a huge middle finger to the king. And 5,000 people, maybe even more than that, realized what was going on, and we just see like a bunch of people like pouring tea into the harbor and turning the water brown with all this freaking tea. So we were just like, I like what these people are doing. Let's go do that. So we each grabbed a big old thing and then we poured it into the harbor as well. And then, once the king realized what we were doing, he decided to close the harbor down as a punishment. So basically, everybody started to starve. And because we all rebelled, we had to suffer the consequences. And after a few days of it going on, after a few people had died, after a few families were wiped out, somebody came over to the king and they were like, sir, people are starving, people are dying, like we learned our lesson, can you please open the harbor again and we won't rebel anymore, we'll do what you ask, you know, things like that. And the king literally said, sucks to be you, doesn't it? And he didn't open the harbor back up. So everybody kept continuing to starve. So then finally this one dude, Thomas Hutchinson, says, I hate that it was that the taxes were being can't talk today. He says, I'm sorry that the taxes were having to be paid on everything. I don't like it either, but I really don't like that we had to pour the tea into the water. But you guys want to fight? So people said, yeah, we would rather have a war. So people decided that it would be better to see people getting, killed, raped, and children having to see the war, people actually dying, people actually having to be burned alive inside their homes, and yes, that actually did happen. They decided that all that would be better than starvation, so that's what happened, and yeah, that's what we did. We decided to pour tea into water as a protest, and then after we starved, we started a war. So yeah, that's what we did. That's what we did. Anyway, I really hope you guys liked that, and I'm sorry if I was a little bit vague, but that's all I learned today. It's only been the first week. Like, that's all I learned in all 2 weeks. So we will probably learn more. Like, I'm doing this huge project, and these are my notes. And I was supposed to research today, but I ended up going somewhere, so yeah. Hopefully I'll be able to do it in between periods and stuff like that. Well, anyway, I had a fun time, but unfortunately it is time for the little chestnuts to go back into their little bundles. I love you guys, and I will see you all in the next hunt. Stay body positive. Wow. Kate Winchester out, hasta la bye-bye, and God bless your nutty little hearts. Don't forget to go nuts. Mwah.